The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
If you're building or buying or selling a home, the Real Estate Crew's got news for you at the Real Estate House Party.
With attorney Rick Carter,
Real Estate House Party.
paralegal Kathy Holtshouser,
Real Estate House Party. Come in, have fun.
and comedian Tony V. Now, here's real estate attorney Rick Carter.
Welcome and thanks for joining us here on the Real Estate House Party. You're not mailing it in today, are you? You seem to be.
I'm practicing my royal way. How is that mailing it in?
He's catatonic.
Apparently.
Wait, there it is.
There you are.
I
know.
On.
I know.
Was that on purpose, Ed Sullivan?
I think he's only going to have us
No,
intermittently on.
I'm a little flustered today because your hair looks so good.
Oh, thank you.
He was just giving Rick and I a running start.
A chance.
Yes. That's all he was
Hey,
doing.
what was the incident of the riddle on the way into the studio today? If you bring Sasquatch brings the mistress to your dinner, did you see that at all?
No.
All right, that's
What?
for another time.
Yeah.
All right,
I know the answer.
All right.
I'll share it with
Wait,
you
what
after the
is,
show.
what is it?
if your Sasquatch brings it's not on our notes. If the Sasquatch brings
His mistress.
to
His
the dinner,
mistress, yeah.
Yeah.
you have the answer for that, or
I don't know.
okay?
Wait,
Stumped early.
If the Sasquatch brings his mistress to
To
a
a
dinner,
dinner.
what do you
I
call it?
think there's going to be some big problems.
Right.
That's just my gut.
So it looks like we have both our engineers ignoring this whole show at this point.
Is abominable in there anywhere?
Talking about the mistress?
Not yet.
Abominable.
Ed, we're doing all right over here?
You're great.
All right. We should talk about technology today since you seem to be circling it around over there with some issues. Let's talk technology
All right,
today.
let's do it.
Let's talk technology.
Let's talk about why we want to talk about technology.
How is your dog Sugar doing?
I got this email from the city of Manchester that said, you're late on your registration of your dog named Sugar.
Do you have a dog named Sugar?
No.
No.
I said, I do not have a dog named Sugar.
That's how late you are. Sugar's been dead for 4 years.
No, I never had a dog named Sugar.
Right.
It was very
She
funny.
had to argue with the town of Manchester.
So I call them because then I find a piece of mail that's also looking for registration for Sugar. And I'm like, I have a dog named Susie, but not Sugar. And she goes, well, you're going to have to come down here and register your dog named Sugar.
And I don't have a dog.
It took me 10 minutes.
Here's who's on first.
Yeah,
That's
who's
what
on
I'm trying
second.
to tell you.
Right.
I'm
So,
trying to tell you. That's what I'm asking you.
I do not have a dog named
So
Sugar.
prompted us to start. So today, not today. We've been working on
But
the
it was
show.
in the database that
You
Kathy
have a dog.
Holtshouser,
Right,
has
have
a dog named
Right.
Sugar.
Which
Right.
you do not.
Right.
I don't know where they come up with that.
So for weeks I've been looking into technology. I was preparing for today's show. So
You were?
Yeah, no, 20
right.
minutes beforehand. In 15 minutes we gabbed.
Yeah, right.
So I started looking up technology and different scams that's going on. I always like the real estate scams. Don't you know? So I Googled real estate scams. 2 minutes later, I'm getting emails from people. Oh, you want to learn? Have you heard about this scam? They read my email, my Google
Well, they
search.
listen to you.
My Google search, and all of a sudden I'm getting all these scams out there that are now on my computer. So let's talk scams. We haven't talked scams in a while.
Sure.
So this Oxford guy just got arrested for 22 counts of forgery, larceny, and uttering.
What the hell is uttering?
Uttering. When you,
I would be uttering.
Uttering.
I would be in jail
yeah.
because I utter all day long.
Not muttering. That's different.
No, I
Because
utter and I mutter.
I
Isn't
constantly
uttering
mutter.
like
That's muttering.
That's
What's
muttering.
uttering?
Uttering is when you give over a forged document to the benefit of yourself and to the detriment of another person. That's uttering.
What about when you say, "Don't you dare utter"?
Don't utter another word.
Yeah.
Right.
So you
Give over another word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
Oh.
that's it.
So
yeah.
I learn something new every day.
Yeah.
I have
Uttering.
another one.
Go ahead.
Ronelle, hi. Ronelle's back at the office.
Well, she should be working right now, and she should not be watching the show.
she loves us. Her cousin got a ticket at Foxwoods.
Who gets a ticket at Foxwoods?
Wait.
And I'm not sure what it was for. Maybe she can text me and let me know. But it was for something like,
Being loud and
public
obnoxious and drunk.
public display of like drunkenness.
You can't.
I'm thinking.
That's never happened at Foxwoods.
At Foxwoods.
In the casino.
No, like
Going into the casino.
In a club.
Club.
They wouldn't let her in.
Did
'cause
she have pants on?
I think
That would have got her out of the ticket.
It usually starts if you're walking around like Winnie the Pooh.
even then they usually just escort you
Right.
up to the room, right?
They say don't do that.
Right. Right.
That's the Winnie the Pooh rule?
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
all right.
Just the
Yeah,
shirt.
she got
All
a ticket, and I think it wasn't like a nuisance ticket. It was like $125.
You're kidding. She
No,
got
a ticket.
fined for being drunk and disorderly.
At Foxwoods.
And she probably wasn't
At
even
Foxwoods.
she was just drunk. She wasn't disorderly. She wasn't causing any trouble as far as I know.
Well, public drunkenness is a crime.
I know, but at Foxwoods, I thought anything went.
Connecticut. It's Connecticut. Connecticut
Connecticut is
the
bad.
most fascist state there is in the
You
world.
can't be on the phone.
No, you can't
when
be
you're
on
driving
the phone.
around.
You
Well
gotta
before it was
seatbelt
even.
on.
Right.
You got to be driving properly.
Yep.
So just a word of advice to our listeners. If you go to Foxwoods, it isn't anything goes. It used to be like, so
But it
you
was-
need to behave yourself.
On
Sounds
the
like Hampton
property-
Beach.
But it was on the property of Foxwoods?
Yeah, like she
Yeah.
was like trying to get into a club,
Right.
and they didn't arrest her. They just gave her a
ticket.
fine, a ticket. She got ticketed.
That's a new. I like that.
I know.
I'm going to start ticketing people who
I know.
annoy me.
I know.
That's what
Because
I'm
we can
gonna
do
do.
it. What is it?
Yeah.
A citizen's
arrest.
violation?
Yeah,
or-
sure.
I was on the phone in Connecticut, and I had the police. I didn't know it. I didn't know you weren't supposed to. I had the police officer, tap on his window and to roll down.
Roll down the window.
Do you remember? Our kids don't probably know what the original "roll down your window" sign was.
Right.
Right. Isn't it right?
No,
Right?
it's not right. I used to do a bit about that.
Oh, let's hear it.
Go
And
ahead.
then the universal sign for roll
Right.
down your window.
They have no idea what that is.
That means, right?
What does that mean?
Or what do you do? Do you know what this
Which
means?
looks a lot weirder.
Do you know what this means?
Right. Yeah, let's dial the phone.
Call me.
Right, call me. Right.
Call me.
Right. Which is just, I can't remember exactly how the joke went, but that's just weird. Why's that guy wiggling his finger at me?
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to jump on that and say,
You'd be
he
arrested
wants my
for
window.
disorderly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He wants my window down.
Yeah.
So
It wouldn't even matter if it's just your index finger. I could see if you were waggling another finger at somebody where they could have some difficulty with that.
But yeah, I
All
don't think our kids know
Yeah,
that.
no.
Oh boy.
Although there's
my
still
speakers
some
are
trucks-
all over the board today.
Still
So
some trucks have that.
What's the matter? Your headphones aren't
No,
working
it's
right?
okay. It's all right. We'll get through this. We're troopers here.
Woo-hoo. What do you hear? What do you hear? Is that okay?
Same haunting noises I get at the office.
Oh,
You can't
boy.
get away from it. You think the voice is in your head. It's just Kathy constantly around you.
Ed has shut off this side of my speakers. I'm not kidding.
Maybe you got a head cold.
I can hear Tony here, but
I really haven't. but
okay, well,
bear with me.
it's fine. No, it's fine. The show will go on. So
The show goes on.
the show will go on. So let's talk about some scams in the real estate world. One, and I'm just amazed that here. Let's give a blanket statement. Don't sign anything. Don't send any money to anyone. Just don't do it. So the latest scam is supposed buyers coming in saying, all right, I want to buy this house. Well, the deposit's $25,000. That buyer says, all right, here you go. Here's my check. Oh, I sent you $30,000. Would you mind sending me my $5,000 back?
Right.
And people are sending it back out.
You're kidding me.
No, it's just, and you think just by hearing that people wouldn't do that, but I'm hearing that more and more now.
So they get the $5,000 back before the other check clears?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So then they stop payment on the check,
Correct.
Yeah.
and they get
Exactly.
$5,000, and
Exactly.
you don't know where they are.
Right,
Right.
exactly. I didn't know it was that
It's
easy.
like people on Craigslist that list houses that aren't
Right.
real,
Right.
like, for rent.
Right,
And then
right.
you send
Oh.
first month's, last month's, and security deposit
Right.
to somebody.
Right.
And then you go to move
Right.
in on your day, the move in, and there's
And
no
for-
such address.
Yeah, it all comes down to if it seems too good to be true, it is.
Right.
But even if it seems legitimate, sometimes you really
You're
have
moving
to start.
in, and 4 other couples are also moving in.
And what the scammers do is they take advantage of us being in such a rush all the time. We need to get this done. We need to do this. We need to do that. So I I could send you, or someone could send you an email, and it looks like it's from Kathy Holtshouser. It's,
Right.
Tony, can I borrow $1,000? And you're like, oh, well, Kathy, I'm sure she'll give it back to me.
Right, sure, it's
There's a reason
Kathy.
why she's asking for
Right.
it. Maybe you'll send it to me, but my email, it could say Kathy Holtshouser on the email, but if you actually look at the address that it really came from, it's a
It's somebody
scam
else, right,
address.
right.
So it looks like it might be coming from Rick Carter, but it's not. And we've had people get in the middle of this, so we always just say, you know what, call us.
Right.
You know, it all goes back to W.C. Fields,
Okay.
who once said, "You can't cheat an honest man and never give a sucker an even break."
There you go.
That's
Right.
really what it comes down to.
Right.
So usually the scam appeals to your greed or your need to get something for nothing.
Right.
And in
All
general,
right.
you can't get something for nothing.
Right.
So if you feel like you're getting something for nothing, you're not getting it.
Well, they prey on elderly people because they, they just say, the IRS
Is that why I've been
said
getting a lot lately?
they're not elderly. The IRS said that you're going to go to jail if you don't send us a check.
I was at a
payment right
I was at
now.
a reverse mortgage closing the other day, and she's getting a phone call, and she kind of laughed, but I'm not sure if a lot of people would laugh. She goes, "Oh, that was supposedly the IRS looking for money being sent to me," and I said, "Oh, you handle that well?" She goes, "Oh, I get calls like that all the time." So,
well, the IRS will never call you, and they'll never
been through
email
this.
you.
No, they will never call you. They'll never email you.
They just send you a letter.
Right. During the government shutdown, when supposedly nothing was getting done, the IRS is shut down. They don't have business. They can't do anything. I get a letter from the IRS.
No.
I'm apparently the only one they could have dealt with during that 35 days. There was one guy going, I'm getting this.
I'm going to work. I'm not going to get paid, but I really want to screw Tony.
I'm
You got a
taking
letter?
this guy down. Yeah, no, it's for something innocuous.
Oh, okay.
But you see the letter from the IRS.
You
you're
freak out. You
Here we
lose-
go again.
Yeah.
You lose
Right.
like a year off your life.
Yeah.
And
Do
that's
you
stupid.
guys hear of anyone being affected by the shutdown? I mean, in our world.
Well, I know some of the government-backed loans are being held up, right?
They're being
I'm
slowed
sorry
down.
if I'm hogging all the.
No, that's all right.
I
That's
know
all
of an instance where a friend was going to sell a house, and there was a lien on the house by the
I'm running into that
IRS,
right now.
Right?
Yeah.
And so nothing could get done
Right.
during the shutdown.
Yeah.
So they had to give the potential buyers $100 a day
Really?
You
Yes.
should drag it along.
to drag it along so they could keep
'Cause it's their fault.
Right, because they didn't disclose the lien or they didn't know about it. And so it was costing them $100 a day for every day it wasn't satisfied, and they couldn't
Can I
get
tell you what I
anything
would
done.
do?
So another Trump hater.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I would have done? I would have used the purchase and sale that allows a seller an automatic 30 days to extend the closing
Because of a title problem.
because of the title problem.
Yeah, that's why you're the best.
I know,
And that's why we're so busy.
I know.
This is why you got to have Carter Law on your
No,
side.
that's I would have
really do.
utilized that paragraph. Said, listen, by this contract, it allows me
30 days
an
for-
extra 30 days,
Right.
No matter what.
no matter what, and you're not getting penalized. So,
Right.
so what some buyers do is say, all right, if buyer's attorneys sell, they say, all right, you get an extra 30 days, but it's almost like a tennis match. Then the buyer's attorney puts in, well, I'll give you 30 days unless my mortgage commitment is expiring. I'm only going to give you to the
time that
expires.
Right, and I think that's what this was, that they were in danger of losing their rate.
Okay.
Right. And that
know.
changes everything, right?
So we're back to the tennis match, and as a seller's attorney, what I usually put in, then I'm allowed to buy down that rate to its original term, so I can utilize the whole 30 days.
Which might cost you a couple $1,000s.
Which might
so that
cost
you
you.
that's something that
But
You got to
agree
weigh
Right.
which is more expensive.
But you're hoping the buyer has used reasonable efforts to extend the interest rate.
Right. Because they typically can extend it out for
Good Lord, there's so
a handful
much
of days.
to know.
You know what? There is.
We didn't even think we were going to be talking about this.
Being stupid is exhausting.
Oh, I know.
You know what I mean? Let me just talk to our listeners and watchers right now. If you have an option of being stupid or being smart, be smart. Because being stupid, and this is from personal experience.
Be smart.
Being dumb is fucking exhausting.
Ed Solomon, you got that down for notes for the day?
I wrote it down.
That's awesome, Tony.
Or if you don't think you're quite up to speed on some of those contracts, you should probably get someone.
You should have a good, or at least know smart people. We can amend that. At least know smart people.
Right.
I'm going through this. I'm doing student loan stuff, FAFSA stuff.
Don't you know what? Please don't feel like you're stupid because of that.
I had
is
a
the
nervous
worst.
breakdown yesterday.
Yeah.
It's a federal form. Yep.
And then I get it all done. I submit it, and they go, "No, there's a
You're
number
missing
wrong."
something.
And then to change it is a whole thing, and you feel like the biggest idiot in the
No.
world.
No. They have
Don't
people
you
behind the
dare.
scenes laughing. Oh boy,
Right? I
we
mean,
got another
I
one.
called my accountant. They go, "Please don't think you're the only one that has."
Oh
these
no.
questions."
Oh, no.
Everyone.
I mean, why do they make it so difficult?
I know.
When
I know.
Stewie was doing the FAFSA forms, I'd hightail it out of there,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't come home until they were
I
done.
was in a state of
Yeah,
like
it's the worst.
like head and hands. If I was prone to weeping, I would have wept.
Yes.
But I was just like, and I felt worthless, like useless.
Right.
And I don't like feeling that.
I know.
Well, it's because it's mass produced. Also, they have this form, and again, we're back to technology. So suppose you're supposed to be able to do this all online.
Yeah.
Which you can't do unless you have some human being interaction.
And then every time you go to get back in, they time you out.
Right,
You got to change
exactly,
your password.
exactly.
I was
Exactly.
doing the
Just
same thing yesterday on
insane.
something else for our workers' comp
Right.
insurance, and I don't even really
Why do
know.
we need
I
workers'
know.
comp as
I
an
don't know.
attorney's office? Does she
I'm
carry
look
too many
into it.
boxes around the office?
I'm going to look into that. But anyway, so I put in.
Maybe she could throw her back out doing all your heavy lifting.
Yeah. Well, I got to start back from
carrying-
the burden of the
bricks.
I'm not
office.
sure I like where this is headed.
But I put in all the real numbers
Right.
for like payroll and everything.
Right.
And then it like gives me like a negative number and says it doesn't match. I'm like, well, I'm just telling you
Right.
These are
what
the
my
numbers I put
payroll
in.
is
Right,
telling me.
right.
So I don't
No, you're
know.
right. It's like a math equation. You just plug in these numbers, and we went by your form, and all of a sudden it doesn't make
So
sense.
you know what I did?
Oh boy, here we go. Go
I
ahead.
went like this.
All right.
I will look at it on a different day
Yeah,
when I
get
have
a
a
fresh
little
perspective. I had to
tiny
quit,
bit
and I'll
of
go-
Yeah.
I'll go back this afternoon and try to redo it, but it's just nerve-wracking.
So technology-wise, they're trying to. I saw this in the Globe a couple months ago, where they're trying to. Their suggestion was, let's get rid of attorneys and let's just do closings online for everything.
Right.
I'm thinking,
Have at it.
Have at it.
I'm glad I own my house.
Do all the closings online?
Yeah, they didn't. They thought the bulk of our fees were because we had to go to someone's house to do the closing, and they thought if they could eliminate that, the attorney's fees would be a lot
Well,
less.
actually,
Why?
that is
But-
probably the least of
That's
the fees.
that's my point.
Right.
Our back office,
Yeah,
me and Renelle and Renee,
right.
are like, we work so hard on these files.
I'm the front office.
You're the front.
He's the one that shows up and goes,
You're the
hey, how you
Hey,
doing?
yeah.
You get a good rate? Good. Sign,
Yeah.
sign, sign.
If it
It was
was-
nice to meet you.
Wow.
If we were a restaurant, you'd be the maitre d'.
I'd be the maitre
Yes,
d'.
right,
Thank
Right.
you. How
right
are you?
this way.
No, he'd be the manager that came over after the meal and said,
Right. Was
"How is
everything all right?"
everything?"
right.
Well, you guys are in the chefs in the back throwing stuff
I
all
know,
around.
spitting in the food. No, only kidding. Only kidding.
This is why we don't own a
That's
restaurant.
right.
And we're with the law office. So.
Right.
But yeah, so I think they're kind of minimizing our role a little bit. All the stuff that we do, I think just by not going to someone's house is not going to save hundreds of thousands of dollars on these closing costs.
Well, and then you also want to qualify that if we do a rate and term refi or a cash out refi, we're not hitting home runs. We're basically breaking even.
Right,
You
right.
know what I mean? Like,
Right, but
it's-
it gets you other work that is more
yes,
lucrative.
exactly.
Right, right.
So the refinance is
you
someone's
do-
like, you're not charging me a lot of money. No, we're actually not.
Right,
like,
because you want to do business with them in
That's
the
like-
future.
Right,
And then they're gonna
or
buy
a
a house,
lender,
Or a
or-
lender.
yeah.
Right.
It's like the supermarket charging $2.29 for the milk to get people in, right?
Right, so
Right.
they buy eggs and bread and chicken.
Right.
Right.
That will overprice. No, we don't overprice.
No,
but
no.
We were the first ones ever to go to someone's houses.
and we've been to hotels, hospitals, parks, Home
When
Depot.
when we came
Home
along,
Depot, remember that one?
Home Depot, aisle 5.
Rick
came,
had, like,
I came
sawdust
back, there was
all over
sawdust
his
all. She goes,
pants.
"Where did you close this thing?" There was all over the papers.
Yeah,
there.
I find the plumbing aisle to be the best to do all my business at the Home Depot.
Hey,
I thought you meant at home.
No.
To do all your.
to do all your. I'm a little slow.
No, you picked right up on it there. To do all your thinking there.
But we've been to restaurants. I've been to a rest area in Concord, New Hampshire.
Oh, that's another story.
But they were desperate to get it done.
Let's put it this way to make it simple for people. It's like an iceberg.
Yeah.
You only see the top of the iceberg.
Yeah,
That's right.
Everything else.
That's right.
That's making that iceberg. The iceberg is underneath.
You're right.
You only see the end result.
Right.
Right.
You guys have done all your work, and then you show up and say sign.
And then the maitre d' shows up.
Right, and they think that's all you're doing.
And then if the meal wasn't good, the
Right.
maitre d' comes over and says, "How was your dinner?" And I am going to do something about you.
I'm gonna talk to my inside staff about this.
This will
Kathy,
never,
get
this
in
will
here.
never happen again. I'm appalled.
Trust me.
I'm appalled.
Yeah, when we started out, we had to do something a little different. It was always the staunch attorneys before us.
And I came from a staunch attorney's office.
She came from a staunch attorney's
Really?
office.
There are staunch attorneys?
Oh, and then she came
By the
to
books?
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! They had like Oriental rugs and beautiful antique furniture everywhere, and
We
you had
didn't
a
have
dress.
any of that.
Right.
I walk in.
I had my softball
Rick's
outfit in the bag.
changing in the closet. He goes in the closet. I'm like, what is he doing in that closet?
Right.
He comes out, putting on his tie. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right.
And then at the end of the night, I changed back to my softball outfit and went to play softball. So
Sure.
that's
in my
what she got to
interview,
say.
they asked me if I had a car.
Yeah.
That
Well, it was a bonus. It was a bonus.
It's like playing the oboe at the symphony, and then from now on, you're going to play the slide trombone at the circus.
or the recorder. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
You're right.
Yeah, sure.
That was us. So, but technology.
But I took the vows.
You took the vows. We were talking about that. She didn't know she took vows.
It's for
till
better, for better, for
for
worse, for richer, for poorer, till
30
death
years
do
later.
us part.
Right. That's right. That's right.
We talked. I was saying maybe I would kill him, but then we laughed and laughed. But then I decided that that might be forever, so I better not.
Yeah. No,
Tony,
you got to be careful.
And I laughed out of fear. You know
Yeah, of
that.
course.
'cause
No, you thought it was funny.
Yeah. No.
Hysterical.
It sounds a little true. I mean, it sounds like she had all the facts down. So.
Listen, we all go through life not realizing that we're about the 10th of a second from a cast iron frying pan to the back of the head
Every day.
every single day.
Yeah.
So I get it at work and at home.
Yeah,
So let's
right.
talk about some of our scams. What's the latest going on out there? So we talked about the wire fraud,
and we shouldn't gloss over the wire fraud. It is a very serious matter, everyone.
Yes,
Like
Yeah, and it could be solved by a simple phone call.
it should be
Yes.
solved
Solved
by a simple phone call.
Say,
So
did I get this thing from you? Do you need this?
right.
Right. And you go, no, we didn't. End of
Right.
story.
See the stuff you've learned.
Right.
And so that kind of ties it back to technology.
Right.
You can't rely solely on your emails or solely on your text.
Right.
Some point there has to be a live person on the other end of the phone.
Right.
I always want to talk to somebody live.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? At
Yeah,
least
of course.
put the voice with the face or the
Listen,
email.
why would you trust any platform that, substantiates the flat earth theory? You know what I mean? Right. You know what I mean? It means it's flawed on some level that people can still believe that and have conversations over a keyboard about that.
Yeah.
If it can support that, it can support anything.
Right.
So do due diligence and make sure you're talking to the people that you should.
Well, some reasonable people still argue
You would
that.
be.
Right.
There was one, and we've probably talked about this before. She was like one digit away from emailing her or wiring her sister's money.
Right.
And she thought she was having this huge conversation with attorney Rick Carter.
Right.
And she called and she was in such a fluster. And so I put whoever I was on hold and I picked her up. I go, can I help you with something? And she goes, I'm at the bank and I'm trying to wire. And the wire thing is, it doesn't make sense to the. And I said,
Rick Carter keeps telling me to wire it here. I go, I'm on the phone with someone else.
Right.
why would Rick be telling her to wire? Because I'm the one that would have had the figures.
Right.
And I hadn't even gotten the figures from the lender. So there was a whole bunch of things that weren't making sense. And I
Right.
said, oh my God, like, Joan, like, relax.
Right.
Please stop the wire and let's get
That's
to the
not
bottom.
her real name.
This
of course.
reminds me, I have to call a prince in Ghana.
Oh,
very quickly.
Oh, because he needs money.
Yeah, I just want to make sure it's really him.
Oh no, he has money that he wants to give you.
me. If I give him a certain amount of money, he'll give me 10 times.
No,
that.
you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. 5 years ago, that was the
Do
scam.
you want us to let you go?
Yeah, no, I'll get him. He's waiting on me.
No, you're right. Those are the
Right.
original scams. People used to believe it.
Remember when we got one from a broker that says I'm stuck in Switzerland or whatever, and Rick's like, I think so and so has a problem, and I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
But you never know.
No, you don't know.
well, my family got a call saying my cousin was jailed
After a wedding on a
Tuesday
Tuesday
morning.
morning. That's what
Wow,
gave it away.
that's a good wedding.
Yeah.
I go, who
Especially
goes
if
to
it
a
started
wedding?
on Sunday.
I didn't think
Yeah,
that.
that's a good wedding.
and we knew our cousin, so
And
I
I said, who goes to a wedding on
On
Tuesday
Tuesday
morning?
morning.
yeah. So
That must be a scam. In the meantime, you had the whole family running around like looking for a place to wire the money, right? Like
no, I said to him
Not you,
right
but
up the
they
bat. I
were.
said, this sounds a little sketchy. That no. We talked to the cousin. I
Right.
said, you talk to them. And but what they do is they call up and they say to the grandmother, "Oh, this is your favorite nephew," and they'll say,
she
"Oh,
goes, Steve,
yeah,
whoever,
yeah,
Scott?
Oh, is this Sean?" Oh, we've told everyone in the family
Yeah.
now. Is this Sean? He goes, "Yes, it is," and he, so then he was able to run with it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Right.
yeah. So
Look, I'm sure this goes back to all. I'm sure the second there were 3 phones in the country, someone was making a prank call. Hey, Graham Bell, is your refrigerator running?
Do you have Prince Albert in a can?
Right. I'm sure that was going on.
Let him out. That was so much fun.
Yeah, sure.
Graham Bell came up with that. Baby monitors, another scam.
Baby monitors?
Yeah. We got supposedly not around here because every broker we deal with is very ethical.
But we've just read about it.
I read about this. We read about this one where the seller's broker was listening to the baby monitor in the other room as the buyer was walking through the house, and the buyer saying, "I really like this house. What should we
We'll go 50,000 over.
Yeah.
asking.
Right.
And the seller's broker's always taking these notes.
Right,
yeah,
sure.
exactly.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
like seeing your hold cards.
Yeah.
You know something somebody
Yes,
else doesn't now.
Put it right on your forehead, right?
Right.
Wow.
So that you got to watch out with that. What else? Oh, down to some. I'm going by memory here because someone has taken all my notes.
No,
but
you can have them back.
No.
I have them all memorized.
How about this for a scam? Now they're looking on MLS sheets, and they have like 30 photos of the different houses, and they'll see like the expensive art in one of the rooms, and they case the joint.
Oh.
Yeah, to grab the.
To grab the art later.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then they go to open houses. This is not really a scam, but it's maybe for our other show when people behaving badly, where they go in and they steal medicine out of the medicine cabinet,
Yep,
silverware, jump on your computer,
Guns.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
You know,
The ultimate in staging.
yeah.
Leave your weapons
Right,
out.
yeah.
Sure. Right.
Well, they if there's a whole bunch of people there, they know what they're doing, right? They're like
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
a pickpocketer.
Right.
like, you know?
Well,
Yeah.
they're professionals.
Here's one that really I think would be great to get out to our audience.
Go ahead.
If you get a letter from your registry of deeds,
Yes.
says send us $100, we'll send you a copy of your deed. I just want to let you guys know that it's public record and it's a click away on your computer and anyone can get it for you.
Shouldn't ever have to pay a nickel for it.
Right.
Not even-
Your deed.
right.
What website would that be?
It's called Mass Land Records, and then when you see the state of Massachusetts, you click on your county, whether it's Middlesex South or Middlesex North, and then you put your name in, and it comes up. A picture of the deed comes up, and you can just click
is that
on
for
it.
everywhere in the country, or is it state
There is.
by
It
state?
actually is.
Pretty
yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, New Hampshire, same.
Yeah.
Our friend Lenny had me look up something in California, one of his old houses.
Right.
So I was able to track that down
But
somewhat.
Who owns it now?
Yeah, yes. So somewhat like that.
Would
but
he leave something there?
Yeah, his wallet, his fortunes.
Right. Don't look in the couch cushions. Trust
But
me.
yes, you can go on. People love to troll information about people. Mass Land Records is. You can get a lot of stuff on that.
Oh my goodness! Like that's one of our the minute we get a title order in or
Right, that's what you check.
he's
yeah.
going to work on a purchase and sale agreement, we jump right on Mass Land Records.
Right.
We could have a snapshot of that property or those
So
sellers.
you know everything about it. with
Yeah.
just
For the
a
most
couple of
part.
clicks, Right.
We had a closing where we did the title and if you're getting divorced, there's a divorce decree or a separation agreement, all in the probate documents. So we needed some things, and this woman says, "Where did you get all this information
she was
about
mad
me?"
at me.
She was irate.
Yeah.
Really?
And we're like,
Yeah.
it's all public record, and we need to know this information.
This is the stuff we need to know to do work for you.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Exactly. We always get amazed by that. Someone is going to the bank asking them for $500,000, and they get mad that people look into that stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? They should
Oh,
know.
wonder why.
I'm a nice person. Give me the money.
Right. Right. That's not how it works.
I'll pay it back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at this face.
Would this face not pay this back?
What do you think? I'm a deadbeat? Look
Well,
at
like
that.
in 2003, I think that's basically what they were doing.
That's what happened.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
sure.
No
Exactly.
income, no
You
asset,
look like
no
a nice
verification.
fella.
How about that credit card I got the other day without
That's
even
awesome. Right.
without even my right social security number?
That was so funny.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're not in the Bahamas right now.
10,000 wouldn't get him very
I know,
far. That was the limit. But
yeah.
if you had your right social security number, I'm sure we could get a lot of money out of it.
Probably.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be in the Bahamas then.
No, because then you'd have to pay it back.
What? All right, there's another thing that bugs me. I know we're running out of time. How about these credit card commercials that says, I mean, these repair companies, they say, don't let the credit cards fool you.
You don't have to pay them back.
You don't have to pay them back.
And I talk back to my radio when I
Oh, yeah.
I
Oh,
do
yeah,
that myself. I
you
go,
get-
yes, you do. I'm driving. I'm like,
Pennies on the dollar.
that's so annoying.
Of course it is. But the people make a living doing this.
You actually yell at your radio?
I do on that commercial and the other one. If you have IRS troubles, you don't need to pay that back. You
Right.
can call us and we'll figure it out for you.
What do they do?
Who knows?
Oh, he wants to know. Hey, when you're driving around and you can't see certain things, or do you ever turn down the radio?
I do actually.
Oh, yeah. You think you see better
Yeah.
if you're looking for an address or
Yeah. You
a
turn
place.
you turn down the
because
radio.
you gotta think.
You gotta
Okay,
think.
all right,
It's
all
a
right.
little bit of a
You're right.
distraction.
Like that.
So yeah.
Oh, we better leave. Ed Sullivan
Yeah.
is
Yawning.
Oh.
Wait, I want one more thing.
all right.
Number 7, teenagers.
Oh, that was a good one.
Do that one.
Oh, that's so. We might have mentioned this before, but everything's online now. These teenagers found a house for sale. They knew it was closing. Those big for sale signs.
Yeah.
So they went around to the neighborhood and says, "Listen, we're moving in. Just wanted to introduce ourselves. Here's my sister. We're moving in on Friday, having a little bit of a party, just celebrate. Oh, my whole family's there. Please don't call the cops on us the first weekend we own the house."
Right.
Needless to say, they weren't the ones buying the house. They just wanted to go into a vacant house and
Have
a
a party.
Yeah, exactly. So they literally the real buyers were coming in for their walkthrough that Saturday morning with the broker, and I guess
It was just disarray.
It was a
disarray.
big party.
Red cups. Evidently, that's a big thing. Red cups.
Red solo cups, yes.
Red
Yeah,
solo cups.
red
All right,
solo cups.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm hearing.
All right.
Maybe you are elderly.
Wow.
Let's leave. Let's leave.
What
on
on that
this.
statement?
No,
That I'm elderly.
no, we'll change it.
All right, go ahead.
Um,
You like these?
I think this is kind of a scam when a broker or a lender tells you do not need owner's title insurance. Of
course you do.
How's that?
you need it.
Well,
That's good.
I mean, it's optional, but why would you be without it? Maybe next
You need
week
it.
What's
we
it
can.
cost you?
Sometimes it's pricey.
Yeah.
It's based on the purchase price, right?
Yeah.
But
That means if anything goes belly up, you're covered.
On your
Absolutely.
title.
Right.
On your title.
So if I'm representing a seller and the first question, and there's a title problem, I say, "Do you have owner's title insurance?" "Yes, I do." I go, "Yes."
Yeah, so we're all set. We can move
We're going to
forward.
work right
That
through
seems
it.
like a whole show in itself right
That's
there.
a whole
Right,
show
so
in
we
itself.
will talk about that next time, but it's
All
a
right.
one-time premium for the lifetime that you own the house.
Right.
So it's one and done. You pay it, forget about it.
And
So
then
if
you're
you
done.
have to bring $200,000 to the closing, what's $200,500?
What if
Right.
your house goes up in value?
It has an inflationary rider, which covers the value of the house.
There you go.
So
There you go.
yes, it's
There you go.
optional,
Don't
but
be
you
dumb.
really have to think about it.
Get title insurance.
Right. Here we go. Let's
Easy
go.
peasy.
Yeah, I got places to go.
Thanks for joining us here on the Real Estate House Party. Paralegal Extraordinaire, Kathy Holtshouser. Comedian of the Year, Mr. Tony V.
Don't be dumb.
You didn't phrase it like that last time.
Yeah.
but Ed Sullivan, our prolific producer. Thanks for having us today.
You are welcome.
Have a good week.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.